phenomena?
I just want to shake some sense into you kids.
Every time, never fails. Rocket titties.
So once again, that time has come to shake some sense into you kids. It is that time. And the first thing we want to shake into you kids is more of you need to have the Vomit Cannon t-shirt. Why don't you have the Vomit Cannon t-shirt yet?
Mine came today.
Only 4 of you are currently sporting this fancy Vomit Cannon t-shirt. And that it is still only $13 for a limited time. The countdown is now at 3 hours, 59 minutes. Let me put the link so that everybody can take a look. Links in the description as we speak, but hey, I'll go a step further. Oh wait, that's the streaming link. Don't go here. well, that's going to make the show interesting if people. Oh, wait, now it won't let me erase it.
Nicely done.
You use that link, you're not getting in, okay? Unless we really like you.
What, it won't let you erase it?
So here we go. There's the link.
By the way, guys, I give this shirt 2 thumbs up, 5 stars. As I was telling Raltz and Ishi, Raltz and Linda look fantastic on my tits.
It's not the first time that me and her have been all over somebody's tits. But we won't get into that. This is a family show. Yeah, but, Tracy Lords, she was in that Deathlands movie and she didn't show her tits, which automatically made it a 0 out of 10. I mean, it's not like everybody hasn't seen them. She could show them. And she was in, like you said, she was in Blade. But like I was saying, I used to automatically judge people, because I do room inspections. And I'd walk into somebody's room and they'd have their VCR tapes up. And if I saw like 2 or 3 Tracy Lords tapes sitting on their shelf, I would automatically judge them. Because I'd just be like, really? Fucking really? For those of you who don't know the scandal, Tracy Lords lied about her age.
Yeah.
Her first porno, she was like 15.
It was a massive, massive scandal in the 80s.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, it was good PR for her, though, because she became a world-renowned DJ and she got shitload of cameos in mainstream films.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, because, when you walked into some dude's room and you saw the early Tracy Lords titles, you just look at him and be like, I know what you are. And now I know what you are.
Well, did you know she actually did music for the original Mortal Kombat soundtrack, the 1995 movie?
I can believe it.
Yeah, it's actually, her music's not bad. She also did a cameo in that Russell Crowe, Denzel Washington, Virtuosity. She played the DJ that was taken hostage in Virtuosity.
Oh, damn,
okay, let me share something for you listeners out there. Since we often talk about the 80s, people were surprised she was 16.
Not gonna lie, she looks 14 there.
I think she was like 16 when she was busted. But yeah, I mean,
seriously?
Oh yeah, and I can remember they were touting her as the hot new. They're touting her as the new hotness and everything else. And then everybody's like, "Holy shit, she's underage!" And it's like, how did you not know? But she had fake ID.
Her parents were so proud. They were so proud of her, I'm sure.
But yeah, that was back in the day.
So how the hell did we get on Tracy Lords anyway?
Blade. The Deathlands movie.
Yeah, because I was talking about how I feel there's certain genres that people need to go back to that actually people want. And one of them was post-nuclear, post-apocalyptic America after the 1980s. And that's when Raltz brought up Deadlands.
Yeah.
which is just a fast. Like I said, I've only read one book, but the stuff that I've read about the other books, it's fascinating. Like how they went about it. I like it. I like the fact that the girlfriend is a mutant and her hair is alive like Medusa. That's rad.
Yeah.
I'm a little shocked that there was never an RPG put together for it, considering the world's so well developed and expansive.
I contacted them. I tried back in 2004, 2005 to see if I could get the rights, and I think Axler was dead by then. And see, that's the big thing that happened to it is Axler died years ago, and the rights just trying to get into. Apparently, by 2003, 2004, if you wanted to get the rights to something, you had to contact every single author on the list. And I was like,
Oh, Jesus.
and some of these guys wanted $50,000 up front, and then like 2% of gross. And I was like, are you kidding me?
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to say it's not a niche series, but it's got I don't want to say a small audience, but it doesn't have a major audience, say like Lord of the Rings or, Dungeons and Dragons or, Dune. There you go.
Yeah.
So asking 50,000 and 2%, like, wow.
I believe the graphic audio company now owns the rights to the entire series because they're making new ones.
Right.
And to that end, again, everyone see this image here. See this vomit cannon. Hit the link, buy the shirt. Come on, it's only $13. Support the show, and come on, we all want the world to know about the vomit cannon. But
I'm gonna wear it to SDCC this year and offend a bunch of fucking people. I don't care. I told you guys that we got passes again. It was like really easy. So I was like, fuck it, let's troll.
I kept reading these books up until I read all of the original James Axler books. And you can definitely tell when it's somebody besides him writing it.
Well, yeah, I've actually got a spreadsheet because it got to the point where, okay, who sucks and who doesn't?
Yeah.
And I can tell you which is which.
Some of the people had some really good ideas. Some of the people wanted to make it a little too well connected, and other people wanted to delve into things that really made bad mistakes when you look at the early stuff. And then a lot of people didn't look at, I think it was Earthblood, which was like a 3-book series. No, it wasn't Earthblood. It's the other series. He had another series which takes place about 100 years after this.
I can address that, but keep going.
Where everybody found out that the entire thing was set up by, believe it or not, aliens.
What? This is a post-apocalyptic nuclear wasteland, and aliens were involved?
They caused it.
Oh, fuck me. Please tell me they retcon that shit out later.
Actually, it fit really good. No, this is a separate series.
Oh, I thought you were still talking about Deadlands. I was like, wait, what?
No. The Deathlands series was caused by alien involvement in it, but they didn't mean for it to go to nuclear war, so it fucked up all their plans because humans are a little too angry. And it was really interesting. It's a really interesting series. I liked it because, it was the first, it was basically the first science fiction series I'd read where the aliens weren't omnipotent. They were capable of fucking up.
Damn,
yeah,
okay.
That was cooked up by a guy named Mark Ellis. That second series, the Outlanders.
Yeah, the Outlanders, yeah.
That was his. It's listed as James Axler, but apparently that was his baby. But quickly, Janelle, I want to show you on graphicaudio.com. Now you can get this through Audible as well, but I prefer graphic audio because they let you keep the MP3s.
Okay.
They don't disappear on you. You can put them on any device. You can copy them. They're yours. And if you want, you can even get a CD. And the reason being is apparently truckers like these.
Yeah.
But
I can see why.
The entire Deathlands series in audio. And I've got to say, they're pretty good.
I've got most of them. I have most of them. I'm missing. See, when my house burned down, I lost the early stuff because I had the original Deathlands book, the first one that they ever put out. I had that one, and it had an inset in there with a 2-page map of the U.S. and it had everybody in it, and then all the main characters. And on the back, on the back of the set, I don't remember what it was, but it was pretty neat. And I wish I still had that because I don't think they put, they didn't do
No.
a reprint of that.
Actually, apparently that's worth quite a bit of money.
Of course it is.
Everybody wants that one.
So graphicaudio.net. Sorry, I'm putting this in right now.
And I can tell you which ones I've listened to that I thought were extremely good. And there was one of the newer ones that, I mean, it's recent, was Kraken. This one, 145, Kraken, was really damn good. It blew me away just how damn good it was.
Now, I am going to ask, because this is still going on in present day, has it been wokeified?
No.
Because that's a no-go for me after a certain point, I figure the old stuff is not, but I will stop if it's been wokeified.
There is one that was wokeified, but it was written by Axler, so you can't, or Axler's friend, I guess. So I guess that's his own problem.
Which one was it?
Number 10, in which you get one of the best characters. I think it's number 10.
North Star Rising was really good.
It was the one where you get the black woman out of cryo.
And is that the chick that was the Olympic 6-star or 6-shooter? Yeah, she was like totally. I read reviews about that, even though I hadn't read it. I was curious because they said she was literally a Mary Sue. She was brought in to like a Deus Ex Machina. She was brought in to fix something.
They don't explain how it is she survived coming out of cryo, but they bring her out of cryo. She's an Olympic shooter. She's a
I remember this one. I can answer it. I remember it pretty clearly. When they found the cryo tubes, there was 8 people.
Yeah.
And they tried one who was, absolutely. The Mary Sue Deus Ex Machina, that is in Red Equinox. But they tried to bring one person out, and the cryo tube fried them. There were 2 other guys who were scientists who worked on like implosion triggers for nukes, and they seriously debated thawing them out so they could kill them, so they could drag them outside and kill them. And they finally decided to wake up. They were like, there was also a child. There was a child that decided not to wake her up because she had an incurable disease, and they didn't want to do that to her. But Mildred was Olympic quality shooter. And see, when this book came out, woke was not a thing. So it was like, okay, Olympic caliber shooter. Father was killed when the KKK burned down her church in the 1960s.
Oh my fucking God.
She was
sorry.
I know. She was a medical doctor.
Oh.
And when she went in for an abscess repair, she didn't come out of she wouldn't. This happens. She wouldn't come out from under the anesthetic, so they froze her, and they brought her back, and she was sick for a little while, but it turned out she was a dead shot. Now, 2 times in the series that I know of, she locked up and went comatose on them, and couldn't do anything. And she's also, number 1, the big one is she's not a man hater, and number 2, she doesn't hate white people.
I was going to say, didn't she hook up with his best friend who's white? He's like blonde hair, blue-eyed.
She turned out to be one of the cooler characters in the book once they developed her. But the episode or the book where they introduced her, they had this whole subplot where you had these wannabe Vikings that were a stand-in for the Klan, and there was all this bullshit about racial purity and you're a black woman, you need to do the woman's work, and it's like.
But they did that same thing to Christy too. They were like, "You're a woman, you do your woman's work." It kind of fit in at the time because the Vikings were really popular, the Viking research and everything. I'm actually going to defend this book because it wasn't intolerable, and it wasn't even that bad of an entry. The bad entries came later. But I liked her as a character because, number 1, it gave them another touchstone. The big reason I heard was, number 1, they're pressuring to add a black woman or a black man, and they wanted her to kind of like overshadow Ryan, and he was like, no. And she ended up being a really good character because in the later books, she's just as ruthless and just as lethal as she is. I mean, as everybody else is, because she knows it's survival of the fittest. And I was reading one recently where there was some racism going on, and Ryan kind of glanced at her and she just glanced at him and shrugged her shoulders like, I don't give a shit.
That's interesting because let's see. Like I said, I've got these marked down which ones I've read or listened to, and it's this three-parter:
Which one?
Deathlands, Shatter Zone, Perdition Valley, and Cannibal Moon.
I think I read Perdition Valley.
In it, there's a part where these black guys are enslaving people, and she says, "Don't you know it's how can you be doing this?" It's like, what? We're just enslaving people. What's the problem?
Yeah.
Well, hey,
Everybody does it.
If you play Fallout 3, the biggest slaving raider group is led by a black man named Eulogy Jones.
Yeah.
Well,
who wears a fucking zoot suit.
She tries to explain to them the history of the United States. Like, you know what? I'm not even going to try. Forget
And
it.
they don't even care.
They've never heard of it.
Yeah, they don't even care.
Yeah.
They couldn't care less. And
you guys have me sold.
I like this. I mean, one of the characters I didn't like. Oh God, he was actually for the most part. I've largely liked a lot of the characters. I've always thought Doc continually gets a raw deal, but that's kind of a thing in the series. No matter what, he gets a raw deal.
There's one where he gets it real good. He gets to really stand out. But Doc, you know what the thing is in these audios? They almost play him like Higgins from Magnum PI with dementia.
Yeah, I could see that. In the written ones, he's. I've read one. There's been times he saved everybody's life multiple times. I mean, there was some bad guy talking shit about, pulled Doc up next to him, was talking about how feeble the party was, and they let this old feeble guy hang around him, and then the guy starts gagging, and Ryan's like, what? And he's kind of looking at the guy, and he looks at JB, and JB looks at him. They look back, and the guy's making these gagging noises, and they see Doc flip the blood off the sword cane.
Yeah.
The guy's ranting and raving, and Doc sliced his throat so quick nobody saw it.
Now, I gotta say that you really got me. Like I said, I've only read one book, but the fact you said that Doc is like Higgins with dementia.
Yeah.
Holy shit! I really need to read this series now.
Okay, well, the reason he's got dementia, sort of, is that he got pulled out of the 1800s into the 90s, then thrust into 100 years forward into the future later because they were sick of him.
Such a pain in the ass.
But yet he has knowledge of stuff he shouldn't know about.
No, actually, if you've read the early ones, you know how he knows all about the Matrans? Well, he knows a lot about the Matrans in the system.
Oh, that's not what I was talking about, but go ahead.
But the reason why he knows that is because he worked they had him for like between 3 and 5 years, depending on his memory. Some of the early books, it's 5, and then like the next books, it's 3, and then 2 books later, it's 4. He can't really remember, but they had him. They noted that they wanted to see if they could educate somebody from the 1800s who was considered highly educated, if they could educate him beyond that. So they taught him all about the Matrans and everything else, and then a lot of pop culture and stuff like that, to the point where he even got to go to cities. They even took him out of the complex to let him go to cities and look around. But anyway, you were saying about he knows stuff he shouldn't.
Well, yeah, like at one point he's going on about they're lost in a tunnel, and he's kind of like wigging out, and he's like, what we have to do is find the log ride. The log ride is usually the tallest one in the park, and that way we can get to where we need to be.
He's mentioned going to Disneyland as far back as the first dozen or so books.
Wait, Disneyland doesn't have a log ride. Would he be mentioning Knott's Berry Farm? That was the big log. Hi, cat!
It had one back in the day when I took my kids.
Oh, you know what? You're right. Duh. Oh my God, I'm so stupid. I'm sorry. I always forget about Splash Mountain. I'm always focused on Big Thunder, Space, and Matterhorn.
That's okay, because for me, I've only been on Splash Mountain once, and that was a fluke. Every time I've been, the line was like 2 hours long, and it's like, no, I'm not doing that.
But,
actually, just a side note, I've got kind of a funny Splash Mountain story if you guys want to hear it. Just kind of you get what you want.
Yeah.
My mom kept complaining and bitching. We went for my birthday. This is when we had season passes. She's like, she had to sit with Chris. Oh my God, she had to sit with Chris. And Chris is about 4 years old at this point. So he's a tiny little dude. So we're like, fine, you can sit with Chris. So she gets in front with Chris, and Chris is sitting in front of her. And they're having a wee of a time, and then we went down the slide. And since Chris wasn't tall enough to block the water, guess who got all the water? And her beautiful hair was wrecked, and her mascara ran. And that's what happens when you keep bugging me about having to sit with Chris. So that's my little story. Sorry for derailing. Let's go back to Deathlands. I'm actually enjoying this very much.
Finished. So it was the log flume park. What else?
Oh, there was another one where, actually, I think it's the one I've got displayed here, and this is one of the later ones that is really damn good. It's written by the same guy who did Bastard of the Apocalypse. It's actually when I realized, okay, this writer is good. They're caught in the middle of the water, or they're caught in a storm, and at one point he starts going on about the rhyme of the Ancient Mariner. And he said, well, I felt it was more fitting than mentioning Aquaman.
Okay. Why wouldn't he know about Aquaman?
Exactly.
Why
It was
wouldn't
just
he?
kind of, oh, why wouldn't he? It just seems like he knows a lot of different things at a time, different eras.
Yeah,
But yeah, maybe he does know stuff from the 50s and 60s as well.
Yeah, because remember they had him for years, and a lot of the underground facilities that don't exist have cable TV, and you
True.
could pick up. Remember, you could pick up broadcast TV. Yep, I got that one right here. I gotta read that one. Oh, I know who I hated. You know who I hated? I hated with a passion. And then I read on the back of the book about one of the books he's dead, and I'm happy.
Who?
Is the fucking kid.
Oh,
There's
his
a
son?
Kenny?
Yeah.
His son? Yeah, his son was kind of annoying.
Is his son a Kenny?
Don't know what that is.
Do you want to explain what a Kenny is, Kat?
A Kenny is the term for the really, really, really annoying kid that you just want to punch in the face that just knows way too much. They tend to be in Japanese movies.
Oh God, that's my son, guys.
That's
what he does to his friends.
I don't know if he
annoying.
knows too much. It's just I couldn't stand him.
Yeah, sounds like a Kenny.
God, when I think of Kenny, I think of South Park and the friend that always gets killed.
Oh.
Yeah. And everybody's like, oh, but it shows the bonds of family. It's like, fuck that kid.
The Kenny is a generic term for any kid. It's spread to any film, but originally it was any kid in a Japanese monster movie who knew everything and was telling everyone what to do and was essentially general child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. No, Chris isn't like that. Never mind. Like, he knows a lot, but if he doesn't know, he's going to keep his mouth shut.
As an example, though, this kid's not too much of a know-it-all, but he's really freaking annoying anyway. The kid in Godzilla versus Megalon.
So he's like a Wesley Crusher.
Yes, Wesley is a Kenny.
Okay.
The ultimate Kenny.
Yeah. Did you hear that?
Yes, the ultimate Kenny. So I don't know if we brought up why we were going over Deathlands, but something I wanted to...
Wesley.
One thing that I was telling Raltz and Ishi about earlier before we were on the show is I said there's certain genres that they need to bring back or just focus on, because I think, well, I mean, I know you guys will all agree with me on this. The whole we have to make it realistic has completely killed the sci-fi genre.
Yeah.
And one thing I said, let's go back to the Lord of the Rings epics. Let's go back to cyberpunk. Have you noticed the Lord of the fantasy stories that are epics are still going strong? Cyberpunk, especially with Edge Runners coming out a few months ago, is like back on the map. And I was saying, post-apocalyptic nuclear wastelands that happened after the 80s. And the reason I brought this up is because I reread the entire Grendel omnibuses 1 through 4. which takes, yeah. And then also I was thinking of The Last Ronin by Laird and Eastman. And I was also thinking of Terminator, because I was thinking about when last week when we were talking about Galaxy of Terror and James Cameron cutting his teeth on that movie to make Terminator, Terminator 2, and Aliens. And I was like, these are tried and true genre. And that's only 3. That's not all the ones I was thinking about. But they have ditched these genres for let's make everything realistic. And I think that whole I know killed sci-fi and even parts of fantasy, because everybody wants to make fantasy now steampunk. And while steampunk is cool, sometimes you need a little hardcore magic and like thousands of years of magic and history in a fantasy environment to make it go strong. Because I was thinking about, what about Dune, which takes place thousands of years in the future after, a couple of nuclear Armageddons. But that's
and the
still,
machine war. Don't forget the
yeah.
machine war.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you got machine AIs too. Yet that is still such a beloved sci-fi epic. So I was bitching to Raltz and Ishii about it, and that's when Raltz brought up Deathlands. And I've read the first book, and it's been ages, so I don't remember shit, which is making me feel kind of not like a nerd right now. But I was just thinking about, so many people really like that nuclear wasteland that we had in the 80s, and it's really popular, and we need to bring it back.
I have a series for you then that
All right.
I know you like. It's a bande dessinée called The Gypsy by Enrico Marini. I absolutely love Marini's artwork.
I know you love Marini. We went on a drunken escapade about Marini one night.
I worship that man so much. But I highly recommend The Gypsy. In fact, let me track it down so I can screen share it with you.
Well, I was going to say, Raltz's story about Behold Humanity is a post-apocalyptic nuclear. I'm like, Raltz, you hit the nail on the head with your series, because that is something I like. And I love the fact that, Earth has been glass, but it's been hundreds of thousands of years. And I also like how you've made humanity so... What?
It's been 8,000 years.
That's... Well, I was thinking, like the precursor war and all that, and I don't want to give away spoilers, because the book, okay, guys, seriously, if you haven't bought the first Behold Humanity book, you really need to. It's fucking epic, and I wish that I had more time to like sit down and binge, because I'm going to say, last night I was reading the book, and I woke up at 2:00 in the morning with the book on my face because I didn't want to stop reading. I fell asleep. That's how good the book is.
Humble Marty said, "Who's up for Cyberpunk Christmas story?" So when I first wrote this, the first year I was writing this, it got near Christmas time, and I love the holidays, I really do. And I wrote how Pathok totally on purpose and not at all accidentally saved Christmas. Wildly popular.
Wait, is that in one of your books?
Yeah.
If not, okay, because I need to read that, because Pathok is one of the best characters in the story.
Totally on purpose and not at all accidentally saved Christmas.
Was it through ice cream?
Some, and then there's let's see, Pathok and the Malevolent Holiday Gourd.
No, that just made brandy go up my nose, guys. Oh yeah, it's Christmas time. I'm drinking brandy. Just nice. I'm not going to be. This is my Monday night drinking night. So anyway, that's why we were talking about Deathlands. I think there's specific genres that people, even the people in chat, you guys, I know a lot of you are writing and illustrating. Those are some good genres to do.
What happened to post-apocalyptic science fiction is 1991 happened, and the Soviet Union turned out to be a flaming garbage pile. Where we're not sure if their nukes aren't just a box with nuke written on it.
I know, and that sucks. I like the fact that some indie films, like, okay, Turbo Kid, it's cheesy as hell and it's cheese gore, but they acted like the nuclear wars happened before the wall fell, so the story takes place in 1997. But it was fucking brilliant. And I honestly think, you know what? Act like the Soviet Union was still on equal with the United States and have that alternate history. Why do you think Fallout's so popular?
People will eat that shit up. I mean, it's surprising, and I found out what's been happening to the niche writing communities. So this group of assholes have spent the last 5 years tuning an AI. And they write
Oh
these
God.
shitty little 2 to 5,000 word stories and add AI generated artwork to it, and they put them up for $1.99, but they target the really niche stuff. They go after anything that's really niche. And they wrote an article laughing about how they've made thousands of dollars because this AI writes this shitty little fucking entry and it goes with some pictures and they sell it for $1.99 in these super niche ones. And they're all like, oh, and you think, just because we write 2 to 5,000 words with our AI, we're not writers. Well, how many books have you sold? Because people buy our series. And it's like, I hate you with the passion of 1,000 suns because all you're doing is garbaging down.
Well, wait. You get free previews before you read it on Kindle. I mean, so are we to assume that they're dealing with a readership that is that fucking stupid?
Never,
It,
ever
Or
underestimate
that desperate. I mean, look at
that.
the romance world.
I know, isn't that what we're
Rep that
talking about on
sells that.
Friday?
Yeah.
Desperate is a good word for
Hell,
it.
you get a woman who murdered her husband who wrote a 6-book series of romance books.
Yeah.
She
it's like-
started to believe her own fucking writing.
Yeah. The other thing is the post-apocalyptic stories that do come out nowadays. I picked up on. I do not remember the title of it, but it's some teenagers that survive some kind. They don't know what happened. They just come outside and everybody's dead and there's cannibal mutants, and everything. But I was like, please, and they see a cop's pistol laying on the dash of a car, and I'm like, please don't let this be like this. Please don't, not like this, not like this. And the girl grabs the gun, and one of the mutants runs at him, and she pulls the trigger twice and shoots him in the chest. And from then on,
God.
this is the pistol that never misses, never needs reloaded, never needs cleaned, never goes off when she drops. And if it goes off when she drops it, it automatically hits a bad guy. And
It's the cinematic gun. It is the ultimate
it's worse
cinematic
than
gun.
cinema. I mean,
Wait. The best way to tell that story is she picks up the gun, examines it, and then accidentally kills herself with it. That's how it should be.
Yeah.
I mean, and this is
Looking
a
down the barrel.
14-year-old girl
Yes!
who was all, oh, I've never used a gun before. Oh no, mutant, bang bang. And here's the other thing: these teenagers had no problem with killing people. I mean, yeah, teenagers are sociopathic, but I mean, it went from, oh no, we've got to run away from the mutants, to I am death, destroyer of worlds.
Wait,
It's
don't
like,
laugh. Oh,
calm
sorry.
down,
Go ahead,
Kratos.
Ralph.
It's like calm down, Kratos. Jesus. Sorry.
I was going to say one of the best movies that showed don't give a gun to somebody who doesn't know how to use it. And please don't laugh at me.
Remember?
Resident Evil 2, when they gave the gun to the reporter and the way she was holding it, and she still got eaten by a classroom of zombie children.
No. Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Yes, yes.
That is why you don't give a gun to somebody who's never used it.
Chat, if you have not seen Tucker and Dale versus Evil, that is one of the best horror comedies that has ever been made. It's so fucking
He
good.
threw himself into the wood chipper.
Wow.
You've never seen it?
Have you guys seen Tucker and Dale
we've seen
versus
it.
Evil? Okay, yeah, that Steve and I were pissing ourselves laughing because
Pilot
that movie
from,
turns everything on its side.
It has the pilot from Firefly as a complete moron hick who's just like, hi, I'm trying to help. They're dead.
And the guy that played Sock in Reaper.
I saw it with you.
You did.
Did I?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I must be really tired. Okay.
But yeah, it's great. And then suicide cult in the woods. But yeah, we don't get enough of it. And I've tried reading books lately, and everybody wants to be Fat Boy Martin. And all their characters are shitty people. The world is a shitty place. They make decisions to be the worst people ever. It's like, okay, I can give some of my food to this starving child, or I can save it all to myself. And these writers like, well, what about option 3, where you bludgeon the child to death with a rock and then eat your food? Why?
You know, honestly, the only books I read now are either your guys' books or books that have been recommended from the writer's room. I don't buy mainstream anymore unless it's something you guys
Good.
recommend. But yeah, Ralt's, Kat, Ishi, like either you've recommended it or you've written it because that's how bad it's become. Like the hardcore indie writers is where you need to go.
Yeah.
It is. It
In
really
fact,
is.
I wish I had a shit ton more money because I would just buy all your guys' stuff and give it to my family with all the alcohol that I've made and be like, Merry Christmas. Go read something good and drink while you're doing it because
mean-
you'll have a blast.
I mean, look at this. Oh, damn.
What?
Run,
did you-
Reagan! I'm sorry, I just heard that first line.
Oh,
I missed
is
it.
this
What?
something I'm gonna have to do a
I
dramatic?
mean, look at
reading?
this cover.
Ugh.
The Sweetest Torment, Book 3 of the Oklahoma Wasteland series. It's about zombies.
Why is it both of these people look like they bathe every day?
Ishi and Kat, if I ever write a book, I'm paying you to do my cover. I already want to pay you to do my labels when I can finally get my fucking license for my alcohol. Like, you design it for me. You're the only person I trust to do it.
He's good. He's very good.
Yes, I know. Like,
Hey,
all of his stuff is amazing. Like,
Oh, do you
oh
want
my
me to
gosh.
show what I've been currently working on? Or?
No, I was going to totally, brag about you and say, you know that I forget what it's called, but you know that Brazilian restaurant that's in downtown San Diego, the one with the bull on the as the logo.
Not. Oh God, no! I know what you're talking about because I eat there all the time because I beg Steve to take me there so I can get the meat sweats.
He did the logo for it.
Are you shitting me? We
Yeah.
go there all the time. Is she like seriously? Now because of everything's more pricey. We only go once a year. But Steve and I would find an excuse: Valentine's Day, birthday, anniversary.
I was in the process of hooking up with the owner's daughter.
I stole him away.
Thank
So
you,
I've
Kat,
never-
for stealing him away because I think you two are the perfect fit.
Thank
And
you.
I'm not blowing smoke up your ass. You guys fit together like a puzzle piece. It's beautiful.
Aw, thank you.
I can't wait for
I
spring
send you so
so
many
I can
hugs.
see you guys finally. I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
every
I'm a
time-
little tipsy. I've been in a
Oh,
really good
good.
mood today. And so like I was all excited
wanna
about
join us?
tonight.
Can I?
Every
I
time.
asked you if you want to.
I do. Can I?
Oh my God.
Oh, good
What?
Lord.
See ya. Oh, wait,
Okay.
I gotta
Look,
read this shit.
Rick Wood.
Rick Wood. When the world has ended. Sia Rose book one. No, I gotta read that. I gotta read this. I gotta
CIA
read this.
Rose.
Okay,
Why
here
a
we go.
baseball bat? Why a fucking baseball
Okay.
bat?
Oh, I
at
was
the end
gonna
of the
read
world?
the
Oh,
the
you were gonna read.
excerpt. I was gonna read the excerpt. Okay. A young woman alone in the world filled with monsters in this post-apocalyptic horror, desperate to get back to the one she cares about most. Society has fallen and the world we knew has gone. Sia, a young woman trying to survive the apocalypse, does all she can to protect both herself and the autistic boy she cares about.
Oh, fuck me. Dude, you guys want to. Oh, no.
In
No.
that outfit, I'm sure she's taking care of him very well. But she fails. The creatures attack and they are separated. Sia is devastated. She cares deeply for this boy, of which there's no name apparently. So apparently doesn't care about
Oh,
him
he's
enough to have a
autistic
name.
boy.
She cares deeply about this boy and knows he will not survive without her. She has no choice but to endure everything this world throws at her in a quest to find him, a quest that will make her wonder who the real monsters are.
Wait, can I do a mini rant real quick?
Hey, can you click on the author's picture real quick? I'm 5-1. It's a dumb looking white guy.
Here it is.
Okay,
Here's
can
Rick
I
Wood.
go on a mini rant real quick? Why the fuck are these authors fetishizing autistic people? My son
Because
is
that's the
autistic.
latest thing.
And you know what? He would probably survive the apocalypse and not need that bitch.
Oh my God. No. Get rid of that picture. Get rid of
This
this picture.
guy
A
has
woman
never pulled the
scorned?
trigger.
What the fuck is that bullshit?
That guy has
Oh.
never pulled the trigger on a gun in his life.
I don't think he's pulled his trigger on a woman ever.
I was gonna say I've never pulled a trigger in my life, and I probably know more about guns than this
Then we need
fucknut
to
does.
fix that. You'll
No.
love it.
Look, How to Write an Awesome Novel by Rick Wood.
Seriously?
God.
Was that really one
Please
thing?
no, please no.
That's one of them. Yes.
Okay, that's it, guys.
You're right, the first one.
I'm figuratively pulling the trigger on this. I'm going to write a short story because I'm tired of these fucking people. And I bet you,
Please do,
from just
please
hanging out with you guys, the three of you, I can write something decent. Not fucking great. I know it's not going to be great. I'm not expecting an amazing, like, Nobel Prize book. But I bet you anything I can write better than these guys. And I've never written like these guys before, or like you guys. I bet you I can do it just because I've hung out with you guys for so fucking long.
Have you
I'm gonna do it.
always wanted to write a book, but not sure how? Have you got an idea, but you just don't know what to do with it? Have you tried writing your first draft, but are never happy with what you write? Amazon US and UK best-selling horror and thriller author Rick Wood takes you through the process that has seen him publish over 30 books and grew a loyal fan base to his work. In this book, you will learn how to use the tropes of genre to create a book that sells. I'm sorry. It's so stupid. How to develop your ideas, how to develop your characters, how to structure your story, how to redraft your novel, how to develop your writing skills, how to go about getting your work published. Why not just entitle this, Wipe Your Ass 101? I mean, really.
I'm telling you, I can write a better book than this guy, and I've never written. I've never published.
You totally can. I know you can. Ralt, you are strangely quiet.
I'm thinking of having a stroke. No. The other book that you wanted to see, I looked at it and it said, in the vein of Deliverance, Last House on the Left, and I Spit on Your Grave comes a horror masterpiece.
Oh shit.
Okay. The only way he could be comparing himself to those works is if he's talking about the remakes. I Spit on Your Grave remake was terrible. Last House on the Left remake was bad. And Deliverance is just Deliverance.
Honestly, I enjoy the original Wes Craven Last House on the Left. And I can't remember the actor's name, the guy that played Krug. But he also did the score for that movie. And he was actually a really nice person in real life and very fun. And it showed that he had acting chops to play such a psycho. And Last House on the Left. I cannot remember his name. You guys should know. Do you know what I'm talking about? He had the curly black hair.
Yeah. I just don't know what else he was in. I mean, I don't keep track of the names of
Psycho
actors
Bitches.
Really big one. Oh, God.
Well, I think part of his sales here is based on the cover.
It's got to be. Somebody asked why baseball bats, and somebody else said because Negan. Yeah, that's exactly why.
Yeah.
No, you're right.
The problem with baseball bats is in a post-apocalypse, they'd break pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and even the aluminum ones that they show, my character uses an aluminum one. If you want to know what happened, if you want to do some research, get an aluminum bat, go out and hit a pollard. The round cement things at the front of a parking space. Hit one of those with everything you've got, and then once feeling returns to your hands, come back and tell us how it went. Because and that's like, I hate these EMP books. I tried reading one because. And it never fails. It's, a mysterious EMP. Oh, God. Or, one factory in America accidentally released EMP, blacking out the world. That's not how EMPs work. That's not how radiation
No.
It travels in a straight line. The Earth's curved, assholes.
Now, that's why you need to detonate to wipe out all of the U.S. You need to detonate it above Omaha City at I think it's like 30,000 feet. But that's getting cold. No, it needs to be a stratosphere detonation with at least a 450 watt pulse. Don't ask me why I know this stuff. But
I know why you know it.
We know why you know it.
Every time I read this stuff, without their advanced computers, the military was helpless. You complete an utter mong. That's not how the U.S. military works. That's not how any military works. And an EMP pulse doesn't stop gunpowder
Well,
or cordite.
I'm reminded
How
of,
much shit's underground?
I'm
How much is
reminded
Faraday
of,
shielded? Sorry.
Livewire, the new Livewire comic book,
Yeah.
and how they really wrote it as if there is a gigantic on-off switch that would turn the entire grid of North America off, and all you had to do is just go and press the button
Okay.
to get rid of all electricity.
Look.
Single point of failure. That's what everybody designs their systems for.
Yes.
Nobody, no engineers do not build things to fail unless they're corporate America.
Yeah.
Now, can I bring up a point about the bats?
Yeah.
You need to use. Okay, so I'm sorry, my martial arts snobbery is going to come through here, guys. So please forgive me. The Chinese use waxwood, which has been used for thousands of years, because it fucking bends while you're smashing people in the face. So the aluminum and all that shit isn't going to work. You can hit a concrete post and be okay. This is the stuff I've been trained in. There's a reason they use waxwood. And I know because my staff wobbles when I throw down hard, like when I'm doing a hit. You can see it, like you see it in the films, the Wushon films. That wobble is because it's supposed to give when you hit so it won't shatter. And I mean, we fucking hit. I've actually done seminars where they're like, okay, put on your glasses so you don't get shards just in case, and just go. And we went, and our staffs did not break. So yeah, waxwood, but aluminum and that fucking like cherry wood shit that they're doing with bats, no.
Okay, I just in comparison, I'm going to toot my own horn and choke my own chicken.
Okay.
Go for it.
Chicken.
This is me. This is me on my free time when I'm unwinding between chapters and blowing my brains out trying to finish off Boobs of Steel. This is me letting off steam, okay?
I'm on the back porch smoking a cigarette, so I can't see the picture.
Oh, this isn't a picture.
No, there's no picture. He's going to tell us a story.
When Dice cracked the door open, he had the look of a man who'd passed through the intestines of life and sunk to the bottom of the karmic toilet. The rings under his eyes showed how tired he was. If I had to guess, he hadn't slept more than an hour since in the last couple of days. But it was the hair that told me things were bad. Dice loved that black crop of perfection that grew from his scalp. Whether it was natural or high-priced gene mods, nobody knew. What we did know was that he kept it immaculately groomed, with never a single hair out of place. Tonight, it was ragged as an unused mop. "Thank God you're here," he breathed through the crack of the door. Okay, yeah.
This is a first draft.
Yeah,
Go with yourself, baby.
He breathed through the crack of the door. His blood alcohol content was so high, his words smelled flammable. "Who else is with you?" "Hildy, Raz, and Banquo." Dice glanced over his shoulder, then back at me. "Fine, just tell them not to laugh, all right?" "You can tell them yourself. Now open the door." "I'm serious, Captain. This is no laughing matter. Please, for me, order the guys." Sorry.
Not to.
Yeah. Sorry. "Order the guys not to laugh or talk about any of this." Jesus, the balls on the son of a bitch. He drags us out. He drags the four of us out here to. What was the line? I'm sorry, I'm losing.
He drags the four of us out here to pull his ass from the fire, and now he's dictating what orders I should give.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Like I said,
continue or
Dice, let me make a few things clear. I narrow my eyes, went completely cold. At the moment, I was not a happy man. You ever tell me to give an order again, I will break you, chain you up, and sell your organs on the open market. And when your body craps out because it's missing too many vital components, I'll put what's left of you on ice and sell you to flesh pirates. Are we clear? Dice's posture went rigid, stood fully at attention. "Sir, yes, sir," he barked. "Good. Now I order you to open this damn door and explain yourself." Dice unhitched the lock, invited us in. Inside was about what I expected. It was your standard low-rent garbage motel. Frayed green carpet, brown adobe walls, curtains and bedding dotted with cigarette burns. The framed painting of the clowns hung above the couch, hung among the TV. The framed painting of clowns that hung above the TV probably came from a garage sale. What I didn't expect was to see Dice to be in a full Superman cosplay. The thing is, this was no rental job he was wearing. All 6 feet of him was decked out in a form hugging get-up of neoprene and smart silk that was cinema accurate and custom crafted to his specifications. Dice had spent some serious coin on this thing. Over the bed, I spotted a pile of vintage clothes, a suit, a necktie, black horn-rimmed glasses, obviously his Clark Kent disguise. Go ahead, judge me. I've got nothing to apologize for. Dice's voice had gone sour. It's Randall I was protecting. He's always so worried what the rest of you would think. Okay. Sorry, let me fix this. I found another.
Dude gets caught in his Superman cosplay outfit.
Over on the bed was a very drunk Randall draped in a Batman cowl and and not much else. He rocked in place as he sucked on a bottle of Jägermeister VX. His eyes glazed over in catatonic shock. It had all been so romantic, Randall babbled in a hushed tone. His gaze never left the bottle of VX. So romantic, waking up beside him in the water. After all that time, the water wasn't hot anymore, but not cold either. Lukewarm, I think it's called. Lukewarm water. It sounds so pleasant. So pleasant. I imagine that's what it's like for babies in the womb. Wet, warm, intimately close, that you can hear each other's heartbeats. Thump, 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 thump. Look, I don't mean to be a dick, Hildy. Look, I don't mean to be a dick, Hildy broke in. But what the frick's wrong with Randall? Somebody slip him some bad psychedelics or something? If only, Dice spat. What the fuck happened to Aquaman here? I hear Raz shout from the bathroom. What's the sit rep? He's in the tub, sleeping with the fishes. Dead.
Oh, shit.
Hey guys, I'll be right back. I'm being paged, so just give me a second. Keep going.
No, that's it.
That brought up a memory I would rather forget. Oh God, we went to a Halloween costume with the unit, and I dressed up as Batman because why not? And next day, yeah, because Batman. No, the next day, my girlfriend. I lived in a 2-story place in Germany, and we had a balcony on the 2nd floor. We sit there and drink. My girlfriend is downstairs watching TV, and we had a big bay window, and she'd open it, she'd open it up, and she was enjoying, the cool air and everything. And I got this plan, right? But unfortunately for me, my plans never work out the way I want them to. So my idea was go strip the bed, take the sheet, wind it up, tie one into the balcony railing, put on the Batman cape and cowl, and that's it. And run and jump off the balcony like I'm a fucking cartoon. And then my plan is in my head that I'm going to swing through the window, right?
Oh,
yeah,
no.
It didn't work like that. When I jumped, the fucking sheet slid way over to the side. So number one, my angle was off. Number two, by the time I reached full extension, started coming down, I'm not in front of the window anymore.
Oh,
and so I come down and slam into the wall and fall into the rose bushes.
Ow.
And my girlfriend looks out the window and goes, I'll be damned. And then shut the window on me.
Oh, Jesus.
I had to cripple around the house in a Batman cape. She didn't let me live that shit down for years. I mean, I talked to her like 10 years later, and she's like, hey, remember that time with Batman? I'm like, shut the fuck up.
All right, I'm back.
It was a great idea. It was a great plan. But like most of my plans back then, I thought it through about 2 inches. And, it's going to be great. I'm going to swing on the sheet through the window. That's not how real life works, dumbass.
Wait, what the fuck did I miss? It's talking about swinging on a sheet through a window.
I dressed up. We had a costume party the night before, dressed up like Batman. Next day I had the cape and cowl. My girlfriend's downstairs watching TV. I decided I'm going to swing through the first story window from the second floor balcony on a sheet. That doesn't work like the movies. It works more like Looney Tunes. The best part was her. I'll be damned. And shuts the window.
Okay, so for the audience who keeps asking, what the hell was I reading? That is a story I'm writing on the side to let off steam while I finish up Boobs of Steel. It's driving me nuts. I needed to write something escapist, and I'm writing in bits and pieces what you just heard. That's a scene from it.
Can I say one of the best descriptors I thought that you had was that the smell of alcohol on the guy's breath, that his words could be flammable, was, oh my God, chef's kiss. That was great.
Oh, thank you.
I could just picture that fucking room.
Yes.
I knew someone was dead in the bathtub.
Well, I'll be
Just
honest,
knew it.
Ralt, really, the inspiration was you kept talking about all of these stupid things that you guys did in the military.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, well, what if I did a story about mech mercenaries, but portrayed it the way Ralt talks about the military?
We're all drunken retards, you know. Oh, man. What's funny is my wife knows that story because my girlfriend told her friend, and her friend told her friend. And by the time I got to work on Monday, the whole unit knew it. By the time Wednesday rolled around, everybody on post knew it. And so when I met my wife, my friend Guido tells her about this story. And I'm like, yeah, thanks. My wife couldn't stop laughing. Yeah. They don't tell you in those TV shows and movies that if you tie a knot with sheets, the knot comes undone really easy.
So you're saying that scene where Freddy Krueger was able to hang the kid by his own sheets in the jail cell probably wouldn't have worked?
It might, because who knows? But for me, sheets never do right. But I like that. I like that whole thing because those guys are in so much fucking trouble. And worse yet, it looks really bad on the Merc company. Because, they go to get a job and the guy's looking at the resume and everything, looks at him and goes, aren't you the dude that drowned Aquaman in the tub?
Honestly, I kind of think we need a new shirt of Ralt's coming through.
No, God, no. God, no, that was not my moment of triumph. That's okay. My buddy tried it like a year later and went through the front room window, and we had to call an ambulance.
Oh shit! That makes sense. My dad suffered from night terrors, and he punched through the window and severed his artery, and we had to go to the hospital. I was like 7 years old, man.
But yeah, that is. I knew it as soon as it said. As soon as he started talking about the bathtub, I'm like, somebody's fucking dead in the bathtub. There's a dead hooker in the bathtub.
Well, later Randall goes on this long rant about how he's freaking out, and then he realizes he doesn't even know what the guy's name is, and he has to just refer to him as Aquaman, and he starts crying. But just to give you a sense of where this is going, I'm going to have Kat read another scene since the audience seems to like this.
Okay. Real quick, Dominic, to answer your question, one of my favorite bande dessinées is again by Enrico Marini, and it's Raptors. Highly recommend. Sexy vampires, basically flaunting the fact that they're badasses in a world. It is awesome.
Monster by Inkal Bilal. I'll have to spell that out. But anyway, here's another scene, and I think it's better Kat read this one.
Okay. You'll have to forgive me. Okay.
Again, these are all first drafts, so forgive it.
So let's get a few things straight. As I meant, well, you have to forgive me. I'm reading a man, but I'm not going to fake a man's voice. So just deal with it. Pitch in your mind my voice about 2 or 3 octaves down. There you go.
And the character he's talking about is like this gigantic muscular woman.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like effort, so I'll just listen to your voice.
So let's get a few things straight. As mentioned before, my gunner has a huge pair of cannons. Perhaps warheads would be more fitting comparison because underneath her shirt, that's exactly what they look like. Each breast is about 80 centimeters around, which just so happens also to be the circumference of an M311 Hydrus. Hydrus?
Hydra.
Hydra? Okay. We loaded in the rocket pods of our engine. I know this because once Hildy shoved her tits into an empty launch tube and bellowed, not to be bragging or nothing, but damn, my tits are huge. Tools were dropped, heads jerked around, faces poked out from behind terminal screens. I shit you not. Every techie, mechanic, and specialist in the hangar had forgot what they were doing and stopped to gawk in disbelief as Hildy's up there on the scaffolding with a tit crammed into the Cyclops' right flank rocket pod. Hey, Chiron! Come take a look at this! At the time, we'd been conducting an inspection and I was giving the engine's right flank a good looking over. When I walk across the scaffold to see what she'd gotten up to, her shirt was lifted and her bra fully exposed, and her left double J cup was snugly crammed into a pod launch tube. Can you believe this? She pointed to her tit, completely oblivious to the scene she was causing. One of the mechanics had been up there with us, a stick of a girl by the name of Miyamoto. She peered around from behind the Cyclops' aft section. I mean, seriously. Hey, Miyamoto, can you do this? Hildy asked. The mechanic's expression was absolutely priceless. I could see the thoughts domino in her mind. Whoops. Okay. Where did it go?
Let me...
He has to scroll up, sorry. First was, is this big lady really doing what I think she is? Next was, yes, that's exactly what she's doing. Then finally, wait, the big lady can actually do that? A native Japanese, Miyamoto's concept of personal space is vastly different than us Westerners, especially with women. Unlike the rest of the females in the hangar who were staring daggers at my top-heavy gunner, Miyamoto came to get a closer look. With bug-eyed fascination, she started poking at the non-existent gap between Hildy's monster breasts and the launch tube. Right fit, the mechanic said, as if she was inspecting a real piece of live ordnance. You must have drunk a lot of milk growing up.
Keep going.
Oh, keep going? Okay. Completely unfazed by Miyamoto's prodding, Hildy shouted down to the swarm of onlookers, "Hey, Crew Chief Owens, you'd like to load these babies on all day, wouldn't you?"
How would you like to be loading these days all day? How would you like to be loading these babies all day instead of Hydras?
Suppose it'd be a lot like starring in a Russ Meyer film, he shot back.
Oh my god, I can just picture like a hot, buxom woman with her tit in a fucking torpedo hole.
Ever since Hildy's infamous stunt, the maintenance crew has referred to Hydra rockets as Hildy's boobs or simply Brunhilda's. To this day, the crew still paints nipples on the rockets in her honor.
I can see that. I can see myself standing there grinding my teeth thinking, God damn it, put that fucking kid away before the CO walks around the corner, you moron!
Oh, cool. It passes the sniff test with Raltz. That's awesome.
So, yeah, basically, this is a story about a group of mercenaries who are just complete absolute... Well, they're good in the field, but they're absolute fuck-ups, and they're all insane.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Some chick sticking her tit in the fucking torpedo hole. I need a picture of that in real life.
Oh my god.
I really do.
Oh god, no hole lasts longer than 30 seconds before somebody tries to plug it, I swear to God.
I had heard that. I knew I was in a gaming group with a Submariner for a while.
They're a special breed.
Yes, they are a special breed.
Yeah, they are.
He was telling us about how there's nothing like playing Paranoia while in a submarine underneath the Arctic. And it's like, you start looking at your crew very differently.
Paranoia is the most awesome game ever.
Yes, I miss Paranoia. I need to get another game.
Jesus Christ.
But yeah, he was an interesting breed, but he did comment that those he made some joke about those red caps that they put on all of the guns when they're not being fired, or is not there simply just to say to warn people there's a gun.
No. Jeez, I can practically see that. I can practically see. Oh, hang on. So he's got a character in his book who's really well endowed in the chest area, and she notices that her boob's about the same size as the howitzer shell. So she pulls up her shirt, pulls out her bra cup, sticks her boob in there, and because it fits, she calls everybody over. Can't you just practically hear the CEO, "Get your goddamn tits out of there"? Yeah, my wife's like, yes. Yeah, that would take 30 seconds. It used to be a lot different. I mean, oh god, because what was if you have it, flaunt it. If you don't have it, fake it till you got it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I can practically see that. God, that makes my teeth clench just thinking about it, because I just know I'd be like, the CEO's gonna walk around the corner, and this is gonna be my fault somehow.
Well, the genesis of
Oh, go ahead.
The genesis of the story was originally I had an idea for a story I wanted to submit to the BattleTech magazine, but they went totally woke.
Yeah.
And I decided, fuck it. I'll just write my own, and it just went out of control.
No, it's not out of control. It is very much so in control. It's just batshit.
My wife was like, I would have totally tried it. Admit it, Kat. You would have too. You would have looked around to see if anybody was looking and stuck it right in there to see if it fit.
Oh, okay, I'll totally admit. There's a museum in San Diego called the Flying Leathernecks. I don't know, Janelle, if you've been there or not. It's off of.
It's off the 15.
Yeah, it's off the 15.
Oh, it's a great place to go. I love hanging out there.
Yeah, and it's free. It's right on the Marine base there, and it's great because you get like one of the old vets to take you around, and he'll tell you stories about their own personal experiences with the different planes that are that they have on display. But yeah, I will admit that I have sized up my boobs on some of the rocket pods, but it's just kind of like okay. And I don't know why I do it, but I think it's the let me get an eyeball on how big this thing really is. It's like, okay, there's size comparison.
We got in a bunch of new 30mm rounds for the Apache, and 30mm rounds are pretty big. And this one female soldier on my crew picked one up because it had fallen out of the linkages. She picked it up, she's looking at it, and she looks at the other two females and goes, I've seen smaller dicks than this. I immediately turn around and go, I'm counting all of those rounds. All three of them pulled one out of their pocket. I'm like, get away from there. Get away from the ammo. In their defense, they were actually just going to put it on their desk. But it was just because everybody had like different caliber shells on their desk. Everybody did it. And but it was just the whole look on their faces, and I'm like, get away from the ammo. It doesn't go there. It would have been fine because some of these people I had to search anyway every time we left the site, because oh god, no, det cord is not to take home to get rid of the shrub in the backyard. It'll do it, but it attracts the MPs.
Yeah.
I showed up to that more than once. Well, the shrub was bothering my kids, so you blew it up. Well, just leave him in the cell. I'll come get him on Monday. You've never, you have not been an NCO if you haven't tried to reach through the cell bars and grab the person on the other side.
Wow.
You're like, you're lucky I can't get in there with you.
Shit.
Now, people used to be, the military used to be able to get away with this dumb shit,
but
they don't anymore. I mean, I've talked to people who are in or have just gotten out, are like, dude, you'd have been in jail by the time you were in E2. I mean, what's the easiest way to dispose of ammo? Throw it in the big hole and blow it up without permission.
On the 1K zone.
Yeah, on the 1K zone.
Also the thing in the Navy of, okay, how do we get rid of the helicopter that's broken? Throw it over the edge.
Throw it over the edge.
It
Yep,
fell.
It fell. We were testing it. It fell off the aircraft carrier. Really? It did. How did it get on the deck? Magic. Magic has caused. I've actually seen magic written down as what happened.
Oh
Really?
God.
I was like, you expect me to believe magic? He goes, you want to explain how else we caught an M113 full of flares on fire on the 1K zone? Not
Magic.
particularly. Magic it is.
Magic,
gave it-
motherfucker.
I gave it to the CO. He goes, magic. I said, you want to explain what happened?
Somebody cast magic missile on it.
And he put in his witch's curse. Witch's curse. Who wants to explain that shit? Just write down witch's curse.
I like that.
Now, wait, I have a story for Raltz because I want to see if he's seen something like this before. So I had a family friend when I was younger. He decided he wanted to get the gophers out of his backyard.
Oh God.
So he poured kerosene down the gopher holes and lit it on fire, and his entire backyard lawn blew up.
Exploded,
Please tell
yeah.
me somebody's done that
Yeah.
or more.
Yeah, thankfully, I've never met anybody who pulled a real life Caddyshack, but I know people who would. My wife's pointing at me. I use nerve gas, thank you very much. It goes away in the rain. It builds character. Nerve gas builds character, kids. You heard it here first.
I remember the uncle in the 70s who decided to dump all the gasoline down the gopher hole and light it.
Yep, that never worked out well.
No, it didn't.
I just remember my dad bemoaning that he could no longer get the type of fertilizer that you could turn into an explosive.
Oh yeah, because they added chemicals to it. Yeah, that's like my dad, drunk as usual, goes in. We'd park to go camping in a desert. Well, okay, it wasn't a park. It wasn't like a park or anything. It's like a rest stop in the desert. This is his idea of camping. And we, he's got the tent set up, and he discovers that big ass hill is actually an anthill.
Oh no!
So my dad goes and gets my brother's M80s and ties like 12 of them together and drops them in the hole on the top. I've never been covered by more ants in my life.
Oh
Jesus!
What?
They don't die from it?
No, the ants don't die from it. You wish you did.
Yeah. Because they go flying and then they attack whatever they land on.
We're in the truck, my dad's scratching his side. He's like, stupid fucking ants. There ought to be a law. I'm like, against ants? He's like, shut up.
M80s are great.
We stopped at the store. Go inside, give me a six-pack.
Okay. If we're doing M80 stories, I've got a couple, but
Okay.
I still feel like I need to finish explaining this Hildy character.
Okay.
Is anyone here familiar with the concept of the elementals in BattleTech?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Not really.
Well, they are these. I don't know if they're genetically engineered or just bred.
Both.
They're both, but they're just huge. They have so much muscle on them. They need to wear these like exoskeletons to keep from falling over.
They did it that far because in the originals they were just really well muscled and really big with carbon lattice bones.
Oh wow! I just looked them up. Damn.
And so I was thinking, well, what if you had a woman who was the product of a stripper and an elemental? Okay. And that was where the original idea, but now that this isn't BattleTech, I'm calling them Titans. And so this Hildy character, short for Brunhilde, is supposed to actually look like this. But in full Valkyrie gear with like the braids and the steel bra.
Yeah.
Nice.
Just because they're nuts.
But not like Bugs Bunny.
But no, not like Bugs Bunny.
Not like Bugs Bunny.
No, leather jacket and the steel bra.
Yeah.
Like I said, the whole idea is everyone's nuts. Now for real life stories about M80s. Now there was this kid in the neighborhood that kept trying to beat me up because he dated my sister for a week, and she thought he was a dork and dumped him. And at first,
so he's gonna beat you up.
Yeah,
makes
so he
sense.
decided he was going to beat me up. And first it was harassing phone calls, and then it was continual threats of beating me up, and coming to the house and pounding on the door and saying he wanted me to come out and fight. And let's face it, I wasn't a big kid. I mean, I was a full head shorter than most kids at that age. And this kid's a jock. I mean, it was what, 8th grade, but or was it freshman? I forget. Real early, right?
I was like 4'10" in 8th grade.
Well, I wasn't very tall. And it was like, okay, you're gonna kick my ass. So yeah, you're real brave, dude. But we were getting real sick of this guy. And I had another friend who would just steal his parents' truck and drive it around. And if anyone asked him, he says, "Oh, I'm Filipino. I just look young." And they just buy it.
Yeah, sounds legit.
Well, maybe that's where I get it from.
And yeah, but you look Irish.
Yeah.
So anyway, we kept harassing this kid back who was threatening to beat me up. And then one night or one evening, we go out to his house and we shove an M80 in his mailbox. And then we toss a string of poppers on his doorstep and just haul out of there, right? And the mailbox just gone. My God. I mean, it was just, I don't know, shredded metal. It looks exactly like you'd expect. It popped.
It popped.
And the metal part flew off the post. But that wasn't the funny part, actually. The funny part was the string of poppers going off had set their screen door on fire.
Oh, shit.
Shit!
And the family was convinced that they'd had a drive-by.
Oh man. My poor wife, we were married for a while, and we had our first kid and everything. And I came home late one night and I was like, hey, I did EOD work, so just leave my uniform there. And she forgot. And she got up the next morning and she washed my clothes and she pulls it out of the washer and she's like, oh, I should really go through his pockets to make sure he doesn't have like any money in there. Yeah, I've been doing EOD work, which is explosive ordnance disposal. In one of my thigh pockets, I've got 2 bricks of C4, and in the other pocket, I have igniters and det cord.
Oh, shit.
Oh, shit.
I came home to a very angry wife. She called my first sergeant. My first sergeant went in and said, I can't even understand what she's saying. You might want to go home. If you're not back in the next 72 hours, I'm just going to declare you killed in action.
Okay, now explain something to me. I was always under the impression C4 doesn't go boom without an electrical charge. Is that incorrect?
It actually needs heat and pressure.
Oh, okay.
It's the blasting cap that needs the electrical charge, but unfortunately, I had det cord in my pocket. In the other pocket, I had like 50
when
feet
it
of
went
det
into
cord.
the dryer,
The det cord could have gone off.
Oh,
But
shit.
what she was mad about wasn't the fact that it was there and she could have thrown it. Well, she was mad about that, but what she was mad about was I didn't throw it in the right basket. She's like, I have this basket for when you have crap on your clothes that that could hurt the baby or they could blow up.
Oh, God.
Okay, I have to ask, Ralt, did I tell you the story of when my dad was working at the nuclear refinery?
Might have.
the centrifuge.
Yeah, when he was working in the centrifuge.
What did he bring home, and what did he forget to bring home?
Well, what was fun was, his ID badge had a little piece of film in it. And it was one of their checkpoints to see, okay, have you been someplace that?
Oh, it's the radiation badge.
Mm-hmm. And he turned it in for the routine inspection, and they just swarmed all over him. They're like, "This thing is so black. Where the hell have you been? What have you been exposed to?" They put him through this whole battery of tests, and he came out negative on all of it. They followed him around, trying to figure out, okay, where are you that you were exposed to this amount of radiation? And that went on for like, a week or two, and they couldn't find anything. And then he turns in his badge again, and it comes back black. And it's like, okay, what are you doing?
What is outside the facility at your house?
Yeah, and what it turned out to be was he was putting his badge on top of the television.
Oh God!
And he'd leave the TV on all night, right?
Yeah, he'd turn on the TV, put his badge down, and he'd watch it all night, and just night after night, he'd leave his badge there.
That's right, millennials. Old TVs back in the 80s emitted a radiation.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't really want to put your head next to it.
I had
No.
close to the same thing.
Really?
We came off of a job, and they were checking badges, and mine was bright red.
Oh.
And they were like, you're supposed to be in blue, you're past green and past yellow and past orange and into red and maybe into black. Why aren't you dead? And I'm like, I don't know, I feel fine. And they do all the tests, which, God, I hate those tests. And they're like, they went through the cameras and they found out. Then I hear all this laughter. They call me and they're like, did you really do this? I'm like, what? On the camera is me prying open the casing with my badge.
Oh no!
I've got the tools stuck in, but I can't get any wider because of where the two struts are. So I've got my badge and I'm prying at it.
Oh my God!
They're like, yeah, if you rub those badges on the core, they have a tendency to go. I'm like,
shit.
huh? I'll be damned. Sure, the badge is great. M80 stories are great. Oh God!
Another one that we used to do, and this is real little shit type stuff here. We'd go wandering in the storm drains in Southern California because they were usually dry.
Yeah.
And we knew one of them, the gutter, those places where they drain in right out into the gutter, led into the parking lot of a highway patrol.
Oh shit!
And the little bastards that we were would like slide M80s out and just let them explode in the highway patrol's parking lot.
And meanwhile, they're all running outside with all the guns.
Right.
Wow.
Trying to figure out what the hell's going on.
Oh man.
Yeah, we're kind of lucky we didn't get arrested, considering we did that like 3 or 4 times.
I never did that. I just made people think that there was a homeless encampment in the storm drains.
That was pretty funny.
My friends and I used to go down to Rosarito and get really shit-faced and then put M80s in the concrete walls, the cracks of the concrete walls, or we'd flip over garbage cans and put the M80s underneath and watch the garbage cans go poof. Or watch the concrete walls crack and then see the people freak the fuck out and think there's like a fucking cartel hit or something.
So does everybody here know what the gas chamber is?
The gas chamber.
You've got to qualify on the gas chamber like once every 2 years, although most units don't. But because I was rated, my first cavalry division used to send me out to run the gas chamber. Now I was immune to CS due to constant exposure. So I'd be standing there with no mask on and everything, just blathering away. I'd pull people's masks off and their eyes would swell up and they get snot running out of their nose. Because you burn little pills of CS, and I always used to make the pills. You could get them out of the can, but it was more fun to make them because lazy. Well, not lazy, just it was more fun to make them for reasons. But anyway,
I like the reasons.
After 12 hours, I'm covered in CS gas. It's actually powdered onto my uniform. So I did that all day. And I've been doing it for like 3 days. And I wore the same uniform because why not? And, my roommate was like, I'm sleeping in the day room. But I get pulled over off post. And this female cop has a fucking attitude. And she's like, you're not supposed to be off post in your uniform. I said, well, unless you're heading home, and I'm heading home. And she's like, oh, you're going to backtalk me out of the car. And the male cop was looking at him like, what the fuck is your problem? And she's like, any weapons? And I'm like, well, yeah, I've got a 45. And she's like, oh, so you're carrying weapons in your car. You're transporting weaponry. I'm like, and she goes, put your hands on the trunk. I put my hands on the trunk. I said, and I went, oh shit, you don't want to pat me down, ma'am. And she goes, don't tell me what to do. And she she slams her hands into my sides.
Oh,
And my uniform
no.
goes poof. And she's
Guys, hold on for a
pawing at her
second. Chris
face.
is saying goodnight to me.
Okay.
I'll join you back in a second.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, she's pawing at her face and screaming, and the guy starts laughing. And I'm like, I was running the gas chamber all day. She wanted to haul me into jail for it
Oh, God.
because,
Really?
yeah. Oh, God, female cops are the worst. They're the fucking worst. Well, the new ones are, if they've been on the force for a while, they've chilled out. But he was all like, you got to be careful. And she's like, he did it on purpose. Yeah, I told you not to pat me down. But don't tell her what to do. And I'm immune to it. Doesn't bother me. And oh God, I went in, one of the times I told Linda, hey, I'm going to come over, but I've been at the gas chamber. So I'm going to come in through the back door and I'm going to go straight through to the bathroom. Can you put a trash bag in there so I can put my uniform in it? And she's like, yeah, I can do that. I said, and don't come in the shower. And it sounds, like I'm just being, oh, don't come in the shower. No. And I go in there, I'm taking a hot shower to get this shit off me because cold water, you do hot water and then you do cold water to close your pores and close up. I was doing the hot water. And she opened the bathroom door like I had told her not to. And I hear her go, oh my God, oh my eyes are burning. I'm like, yeah, but I told you not to open the door.
Oh, no.
And afterwards she's sitting there with a cold compress on her eyes. And she's like, tell me you didn't fart in the bathroom. I'm like, no, it's CS gas. Because, it's just the steam the hot water hits it, it gets carried up in the steam.
Yeah.
And me, I don't
and it's
notice
worse
it.
because now it's waterborne. So,
Yeah. And she's like, you're going to shower at least twice more, maybe 3 times until I can smell the steam without my eyes hurting before you get that thing anywhere near me. Oh, but why? She's like, no woman in the world wants to douche with fire ants. No.
Oh.
I was like, oh, fine, be that way.
Sorry, guys. Chris wanted me to come say goodnight, so
that's
I had to
cool.
go say goodnight.
That's the important part right there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
So what did I miss?
Oh, just that the female cop smacked my uniform and all the CS dust poofed off me, and she started screaming and pawing at her face. And then another time, little Linda, I told her, hey, put a garbage bag in the bathroom and I'm gonna take a hot shower. Don't come in because I was gonna run her fans. And I was taking a hot shower and I was covered with CS powder. And she opened the bathroom door and all the steam came out and hit her in the face.
Oh, ouch.
Luckily, it's not as bad as the real bad stuff. Oh my God. My wife just reminded me of this one. I got pulled over and I got a bag of CS powder in my pocket and it's yellowish white. And the cop is being an ass and he pats me down. And he finds the baggie of white powder. He's like, oh, what do we got here, G.I. Joe? He opens it up. I'm like, you don't want to do that. His partner's like, you're not in charge here. The dude wets his finger, dips it, and then swipes it across his tongue. And he gets this look on his face like he doesn't quite understand what's going on. And then his face starts to swell up. And I'm like,
oh, no.
yeah, if you would have asked, I would have told you that CS powder.
Oh,
Jesus. What a
Bell County
idiot.
Police people. Bell County Police came on post and gave me a ticket for drunk driving. I went to court over this. So the cops come in, they give me a ticket for drunk driving on post. That they're allowed to do because, civilian cops run around the post way too much. And I go to court and I've got pictures, right, including a picture with the cop when he's giving me the ticket because my buddy had a camera because he's taking pictures of what we're doing. And the judge goes, so do you have anything to say? Because according to this, you were behind the wheel with your keys in the ignition with the intent to drive. And I said, yes, Your Honor, I do. I said, I'd like to submit these pictures to evidence. So the pictures are of me sitting in the car with no seats in the car, with a key, with the ignition is hanging down from the steering wheel, and the keys are in it. There's no dashboard. There's no steering wheel. There's no floor mats. There's no pedals. There's no front fenders. There's no firewall. There's no engine. It's all laid out on tarps next to it. And I said, and this is a picture of the police officer giving me a ticket for drunk driving. And the judge looks at it and he looks at the officer. Well, the keys were in the ignition.
Oh my God.
And he goes, "You wasted my time with this." And he looked at me and goes, "Take your pictures and get out. Case dismissed. You in my chambers now." You could tell he
Nice.
was livid. I mean, the car didn't even have tires. But he was all, "Oh, if the keys are in the ignition, it doesn't matter if it moves."
Yeah, it does.
No,
So
you know,
you
that's
were, I was just gonna say, you're in a car with no engine,
no engine, no
no
transmission,
anything,
no anything.
and you just have the keys in the ignition. So it's basically just a frame.
It's what was from the front doors forward. It was the frame and the wiring harness. We were rebuilding the wiring harness because it caught on fire. The
Jesus, you
keys
can't
were
even drive it. Like, oh my god, fucking, oh
the,
my
the
god.
engine. The engine was on a tarp next to it because they were redoing the head gasket. We were rebuilding the car.
Wow.
And he gave me a ticket for drunk driving because we're all standing around drinking. You know, like you do. Nice summer Texas day. Work on the car, get drunk. Hell, it only took us a week to rebuild that thing. But yeah, because he's like, well, how was I? And he tried, you know, when the judge had this look on his face like, well, how was I supposed to know he couldn't drive it? The judge looked at him like he was the dumbest person on earth.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, that's when I was like, yeah, the cops are out to get you.
Oh my god. I'm sorry. Like, I know I'm a little shit faced, but even I, oh my god.
Well, and part of
Yeah.
me was like, well, where were you guys all the time my dad was driving down the wrong lane of the freeway with a whiskey bottle in his hand? You know, you're gonna bust me for this, but he never got busted.
Well,
Oh man.
did they hang around where you were stationed at because they knew they could get easy pickings?
Yep, that's why they did it.
That's fucking unbelievable.
I know a guy. I went with him because I had to go with him because I was a squad leader. I went with him because he got a ticket for 42 in a 40.
Really?
Well, the
Dude.
radar gun showed 42. The judge was like, and I remember what the judge said. The judge was like, "I'm tired of Bell County trying to balance its budget on the backs of Fort Hood. This is extremely egregious. 2 miles an hour is a calibration difference."
Nice.
Yeah, they were terrible.
Oh, so
Yeah,
this was the county that had Fort Hood, and that's how
Yeah.
Fort Hood people. Wow, like I already know that Fort Hood is shady as fuck, but to
the
find
cops
out,
were worse.
yeah, like holy shit.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
I
it's,
hated it there.
Okay, so considering you're talking about getting charged for drunkenness that was bullshit, right?
Yeah.
Drunk driving charge. By comparison, we had a thing with the Coronado Bridge.
Oh, yes. Janelle, do you know about the Coronado Bridge?
And the funny thing was,
Oh,
this
yeah.
was under-enforced by
Oh,
comparison.
Jesus.
Okay, for those of you who don't know, there's a Navy base on Coronado Island, and then there's a bridge to go from the island to the mainland. Oh, and Ishi's bringing up a map here. Wonderful, because you need to see the visual. Everybody has seen this bridge, but you may not have known that you've seen this bridge.
It's actually a pretty terrifying bridge.
I refuse to drive on
it's a
it.
horrible
I don't like
design.
that bridge. Even to this day, I refuse. I get really upset. Steve has to either ply me with alcohol or weed, or I should say THC to get me across that bridge.
Well,
and it's also synonymous with San Diego.
It is, and I don't know if anybody can see these pictures.
No,
that
I'm
Ishi's
gonna
pulling
post
up.
them in a second.
But yeah, Ishi's going to bring up visual aids. What's also very funny. Well, it's funny, but it's not. What is it? Coffin humor here with this bridge is that a lot of people attempt to commit suicide off this bridge, but it's too short. It's not high enough off the water. So you hit the drink, you're gonna puke your brains out, and then you may die of hypothermia, but usually they pull you out before that happens. So anyway, should I continue talking about the bridge? Or
Yes, go on.
Yeah,
Okay.
Tell everybody about how fucking terrifying that bridge is.
Okay, here's an image of the bridge.
Look how thin that bridge is.
Yeah, this thing is thin. It's 3 lanes. And so you
Now
can
I'm going to
see
show
here, well, you can see here where if you're going to go from right to left, It goes straight from the
Logan.
mainland. Yeah, from Logan, from the mainland, and then as you head left, it curves around onto the island.
Now let's show you the divider. Now the nets are new. These are just installed. These weren't there before.
That is a new highway.
That has to be.
That
Is
a
that
new
a year
bridge.
old? Because I
Yeah.
don't remember those nets.
Those
No,
nets are
Those
new.
nets didn't used to be there.
Look how
But
low that divider is.
those nets are not for the drivers. Those nets are for the jumpers. I remembered them talking about installing those nets, so it's interesting that they put them up. But the thing is the majority of the bridge is straight until you do that curve to go into the mainland. And so you get a lot of Navy people who are drunk going, oh shit, I have to get to, one side or the other, because there's Point Loma and then there's Coronado. So there's two different parts of the base. And so Navy people will be screaming as fast as they can to get to one side or the other at like 2 a.m. And they will frequently not make that turn. And as you saw, those nets are new. It used to be just a straight off. And Ishi's pulling up some pictures. There's a park.
A Mexican Pride Park.
Oh,
A
Chicano Park.
Yep. A Mexican Pride Park that's directly underneath the bridge. And it is not like at least 3 or 4 times a year. They will find cars that have embedded themselves into Chicano Park.
Oh, Jesus.
Or they'll just be sitting there, still running.
And the thing is it's not high enough to, well, for someone who's drunk, it's not high enough to kill you. So the person will either be passed out or just have that what the fuck look on their face, or they'll find the car abandoned because the person had the wherewithal to go, oh shit, I'm going to get tagged for being, for driving drunk.
But yeah, like the tables and stuff down there, there'll be cars just sitting there.
But yeah, that highest one there is the bridge.
Yeah, I was gonna say, welcome to Coronado Bridge,
Oh,
where your sphincter tightens up both ways.
Yes, it does. Just looking at it is you could crush a beer can with your ass looking at this thing.
I fucking hate that bridge. I don't know how many times I had to go to Hotel del Coronado because champagne brunch was happening and my parents were like, woohoo, let's go. And then driving back drunk, woohoo, let's go. Fuck that bridge.
I'm like, no, I refused. Again, I've only been on it once and no.
Coming down out of I-90, right, into Western Washington, when you come from the east side, there is this horrible fucking turn right before Seattle. And we're talking, you're coming down. Oh, here it is. I found it. It's at Vantage, right? It's near Vantage. It's over Wanapum Lake. Yep. You come down and you're coming down at about a 30-degree angle, and it's a 90-degree turn.
Oh no.
No.
Yeah, it's just holy crap. I'll put let's see if I can
Oh, you have a picture?
I got this. I'll put it in the private chat real quick.
Oh shit. I see what you're talking about. Wow.
Yeah. Now imagine driving that at night in the snow.
No, thank you.
You know it's coming. You just don't know when. And when you see it, your asshole slams shut.
Oh,
that's one hell of a curve. Oh my God.
And it's a lot tighter than it looks. I mean,
Ishi's pulling it up.
It used to be worse. If you look at the ground view, you can see where it actually was tighter. But they've changed it in the last, 40 years. But me and my wife came down that in the snow in a car with a blown timing gear. And she was like, "Okay, I'm going to close my eyes and tell me when we're past this corner."
I'm looking at a picture right now of a truck that jackknifed in the snow because of that turn.
Yep.
Strangely,
turn
we
is-
can't see anything in the private chat, but whatever.
Really, there's not a.
There it is.
Oh, there it is.
Uh,
Okay, there's a map.
Yeah.
Can I share that one?
See
Oh.
that corner? That corner's your friend.
Jesus.
There's
there
the
are
map.
so many pictures of trucks jackknifing on that corner.
And it comes down off the mountain pass. So you're dropping elevation really fast.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So not
And then
only is
boom.
it like, more than a hairpin, but you also have, it's steep.
And then you got the bridge, and when you hit it, it's gonna be ice.
Oh God.
Oh man. I'm looking at all these pictures even at nighttime, but the fact that I see so many pictures of trucks that jackknifed on that corner. So many pictures of that.
Yeah. I remember my dad driving down that in a pickup truck with a U-Haul trailer, drinking with a beer in his hand, going, the kids will be fine.
Wait, what area of Washington is this in? Is this northeastern Washington?
It's northwest. It's east of Seattle.
Okay.
That's what you hit right before Seattle. Well, before Ellensburg, then Seattle. It's not that far, but I mean, I-90 through there is a nightmare.
I was going to say, we've always taken the 5 when we go to visit Steve's family in Seattle, so we haven't had the pleasure of the I-90.
Yeah, I-90 was something else.
Holy shit. Yeah, I'm looking
There are
up all
plenty of
these
cars
things
that went
about
flying
it.
off that, is what you're saying.
Oh, yeah. Lots of cars went flying off that.
Fuck.
That's...
Wow.
The joys of old highway engineering.
Yeah. And, and this is the better version. This is the new and improved version.
This is new and improved. Okay.
Yes. It used to be worse.
God.
Damn, I can't imagine what it was like before it was quote unquote new and improved.
10-mile-an-hour warning signs.
Jesus.
So not even 15, 10?
No,
Holy
10.
shit.
It dropped to 10.
Wow.
It was like, yeah, we're all gonna die. But if you really want a bridge, this actually happened.
Okay.
Look up Tacoma Bridge collapse.
Oh, shit.
Look up Galloping Gertie.
Galloping Gertie.
Yep. My dad used to say he saw this shit happen. But, take that with a grain of salt.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. That's the one where the bridge was going up and down and back and forth.
Yeah.
And then just collapsed. No, I remember reading about this in history class.
Yeah.
But remember, it took years before it collapsed, and you'd be driving around, and that bridge would start doing that when you were driving on it.
Jesus. I can't imagine driving on the bridge while that's happening.
Months.
Oh, good. There's no sound.
For 4 months, that shit went on. Everybody's like, oh, it's terrible. It's like, no, you got to see this.
Well, I remember hearing that for a long time, people would complain that when there was high winds, you just did not want to be on that thing.
Yeah, that's
Imagine cars being launched off that.
Jeez.
Can you imagine? Look, can you imagine this poor bastard? Because you can't jump. God. It's too high. Look at you. I'm going to be late for fucking work.
Yeah.
You know what? My boss can just eat it.
Jeez.
Oh, I remember seeing the videos of this.
Yeah, this is really famous footage.
Yeah, I've seen parts of this, but obviously not all of it.
Oh my
gosh.
Yeah, from what I understand, back in the day, people would drive across this in high winds on a dare.
Oh, shit. Oh,
there
you
it
go.
goes.
Yeah.
God.
Look at that thing go.
Now, what? Okay, I'm trying to remember. It was the tension wasn't correct on the cabling, right? Or was it didn't have enough support?
I don't know. I think it might have been tension.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'll look it up real quick, Wyatt. Let's see.
Well, as you look it up, there was a shit.
Damn.
There was a mural in that park that we were mentioning by the Coronado Bridge, the Latino,
Park?
Chicano Park. And it's a shame I could not find a full picture of it, but it is the most ridiculous mural ever.
Mm-hmm.
And we really wanted to photograph it. I really regret not getting a photograph of this thing before we left.
Yeah.
This is just a slight bit of it. But there's this mural under the overpass. And you see on the left there, it says Arriba, Mexico.
Is that Gandhi?
You have Martin Luther King, Che, and Gandhi.
Mm-hmm.
And it says Arriba, Mexico. Not a single one of them is a Mexican.
No.
The only one that's literally recognizable is Gandhi. Like,
Yeah.
Not even the guy on the skateboard is a Mexican.
Nope.
Nope. Yeah, and the thing is Che there kind of looks like Saddam Hussein.
Yeah, he does.
But yeah, this
what happened
mural
with the
was
bridge
just- yeah.
is they went from open gap trusses to closed trusses, which instead of the wind going through the truss, it would be forced around it and cause basically fluttering.
Okay, that makes sense.
And as the flutter increased, support cables snapped, worsening it, and it eventually collapsed. But yeah,
Wow.
the Tacoma Narrows Bridge. I mean, they used to show that. They show that in school.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I greatly remember that. I remember that when Bill Nye was still good. So,
when Bill Nye didn't go crazy.
yes. Well,
Apparently-
a reasonable amount of crazy. I mean, he still had the sod car, but fine. Dude driving around in a car with grass growing on it, fine.
Well, I remember there was a oh god, it was on Reddit, and people were talking about Bill Nye, and people that grew up in the neighborhood around him talked about what a prick he was to the kids in the neighborhood.
Really?
He'd get mad at them for like playing late at night and would yell at them or always yelling at their parents. So
Aw.
apparently he wasn't a kid fan in the first place. This was in Seattle.
I am sad to hear that.
Yeah.
Oh
Just
well.
kind of proves what a prick he really was.
Yeah.
Well, you know who isn't a prick?
Beekman?
Alice Cooper.
No, Alice
No.
Cooper is an
Alice
awesome
Cooper
rock star.
spent his Thanksgiving running a soup kitchen
He does
Yeah.
that every year.
and holding this gigantic free,
Mhm.
turkey dinner for whoever shows up.
And he works it himself.
He lives
like-
by you guys, right? lives in
He
Phoenix?
lives in Phoenix, so in a relative sense, yes, he lives near us. But his school is like down the street.
Oh, nice.
So, and
Yeah, he's
my cousin occasionally, my cousin used to teach art classes there. So,
Nice.
It was just a voluntary thing.
yep, to volunteer and teach art to the kids there. Yeah, she hasn't done it recently, but that's because of her health. But
Well, launching out a baby will do that to you.
I was gonna say, isn't she like 4 months pregnant?
yeah, she is. We're very, very, very excited.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, babies are always exciting.
But I wish that Alice Cooper would open a school up here in East County, because I would just pull Chris out of the school he's in right now and send him to the Alice Cooper school.
Well, then you need to get out here. I know there's reasons why you can't, but it's one more reason for you to get out here.
Oh no, absolutely. I mean, my kid's always already a metalhead, so sending him to Alice Cooper school.
Oh,
Speaking-
really? Chris is into metal now?
Oh, he likes metal, industrial, synthwave. Plain old rock and roll, like the old fashioned, the good stuff. You know, I'll play AC/DC for him sometimes when we go to work. Sometimes Steve will play Pantera if he's taking him. So yeah, he
Raising
likes
that
it when I
kid
play
right.
Frontline Assembly. So
Definitely
yes,
raising that kid right.
Hell yeah.
he hates rap. He thinks he's like, it's the most talentless form of music. So right now we're on Christmas carols though, because it's Christmas, so he's got to listen to Christmas carols all the time. So I put on Kixie for him. But yeah, he likes metal. He likes hard rock. He actually heard Elton John for the first time today, and he liked it. I was like, yay!
Really?
He likes arena rock too.
Which Elton John song?
It was actually the Christmas song because I had it on Kixie for him.
Oh,
Yeah, that's one of the things he likes at Christmas time. He's got to have Christmas music, so we're cool about that. But he wanted to listen to more Elton John, so I got to dig into my vinyl and find some good Elton John for him because I like.
you
I'm
should
Still
show him
Standing.
the episode of the Muppets where Elton John came on, and he was the weirdest thing on that stage.
Oh hell yeah, you're right. I need to do that.
Yeah.
I forgot that Elton John was with the Muppets.
Oh yeah, there's an episode where he was their special guest, and yeah, he was the weirdest thing on the stage.
Well, I was
I've never
explaining
seen
to Chris about Elton John being one of the guys besides him and Queen, and I can't remember the other band that really made arena rock a thing.
Oh,
But you know what I'm talking about, where it was like the music was really good, but the performance was even better. I don't know. Was it the Who? I think it might be the Who. Because I know later on then Billy Joel came and he was doing his old Piano Man thing and like arena rock. That's what kind of became arena rock. But yeah.
Big hole in my knowledge there. I couldn't tell you.
I'm leaning towards the Who, but I have a feeling I'm wrong.
Sadly, the person that would know it, or the people would know it, was either my dad, who's passed away, or my mom, who has Alzheimer's and can't remember that stuff, because they have all of the arena rock stuff. They were huge into going to concerts all the time when they were young, like a shit ton of concerts.
My stepdad, he actually worked for Kixie for a while.
He saw the tank.
Yeah, he saw the tank. It nearly went over his car.
Oh shit! No way.
Yeah. Right. Phil would have known. Definitely would have known. But yeah, he passed in January, so I can't.
No, speaking of the tank, one of Steve's close friends in high school was doing. You could do extra credit when you went to our high school at Valhalla, like riding along with firefighters or policemen. And so his friend was doing a typical ride along for extra credit, asking all these questions, and then they got the call for the tank, and she had to go along with them.
Oh my
she
God!
Witnessed it firsthand. So she told everybody the next day at school what she saw. That's what created the game and Grand Theft Auto, was that whole stealing of the tank.
Mm-hmm.
That was the inspiration?
Yeah, because you play the first game, you steal a tank from the National Guard.
Oh.
Yeah, so Grand Theft Auto is because of San Diego.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. I love taking people on like the San Diego tour, and it's like, and here is where the tank was stolen. And here's the Wiener Schnitzel that you see in all those videos.
I remember when that dude stole the tank and high centered it. That was funnier shit because we were all cheering him on in the day room.
We kind of all were.
Yeah.
Everybody was.
Yeah,
he was headed towards the utility company.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, and we were all in the barracks in the day room cheering him on. Go, go, go! And we were like, damn, we're all like, you should have hooked up with us, man. We would have hooked him up with some ammo. Make this really exciting. And then he high centers it like a dweeb.
Yeah. I was kind of surprised when he tried to hop the not only did he try to hop the divide, he tried to turn while hopping the divide.
No. The thing that got me was they pop the hatch open and the cops just unload.
Yeah.
And he just gets torn to shreds by ricochets, right? He was naked and drunk.
Yeah, he was naked and drunk.
in the tank. Okay,
Did not have a stitch of clothing on him.
Yeah, apparently he had nothing in there but beer. Apparently, he had like a couple 12 packs. When they finally hauled his body out, this guy is just pouring blood onto the freeway. And his blood's all over him. And they blur out his cock. It's like, okay, wait, I can see his fucking intestines, but we're gonna blur his cock.
Yeah.
Yo, what
Okay, priorities here.
Well,
did he
yeah.
get drunk and do it? Is that why he did it?
Yeah, his name was Sean Nelson, and he was an American veteran that stole forgive me if I'm wrong, M60A3 tank from
No,
the
an M1A1.
California Army National Guard.
I could have swore he stole an M1A1.
And I believe he was pissed because he
was being jerked around by the utilities companies. They're like, look, I'm a vet.
Yeah.
And the utility company kept turning his power off.
I remember watching it live on news, and my dad was cheering the guy on.
I mean, who doesn't want to really just wheel up the tank to the house of the guy who's billing you and trying to rip you off, right?
Exactly.
And running him over.
Exactly.
Oh, it was an M60A3. I didn't remember. I just remember we were cheering him on.
Not gonna lie, that was actually a fun.
Go!
That was a fun afternoon if you lived in San Diego, because everybody's watching it on the news.
You want to know something really weird? They moved all the tanks off the National Guard armories throughout the state of California and moved them to Fort Irwin and Camp Roberts.
Really?
Yep.
Not surprised.
And San Diego Gas and Electric made $40,000 off that for the damage he did.
Really?
Yeah.
Where did he get? Why when he tried to jump the divider? I can't remember where he got caught.
It was after the ped walk that goes over the freeway. He actually tried to ram the one of the supports, and I don't know what happened, but like he rammed it a couple of times, and then
he detreaded it.
Is that where he detreaded? Okay.
But what it was right over by Mitsuwa.
Well, no, actually, it was where he threw the tread was where the freeway is heading towards Hazard Center. So.
But yeah,
and the funny part is,
go.
The funny part is he just kind of like hopped a fence and walked in there, and nobody said anything.
Yeah.
They did see him because he had his vet card, and everybody knew him. He'd go there on a regular basis and hang out with people. So they're like, hey, Chuck, and just kind of said hi to him, and nobody noticed that he was heading for the tanks.
Nobody. It can be really weird the way you don't pay attention to stuff. Yeah, have you guys watched MASH and seen that scene where Hawkeye goes to the mess hall completely naked and almost nobody notices until the dude drops his tray?
Is that the movie or the show?
The show.
Okay.
He bet that everybody was so inattentive that he could go in, eat lunch, and come back wearing nothing but his boots and nobody would notice. And he got all the way through the line and was walking toward to sit down when one of the enlisted saw him and dropped his tray in shock, and then everybody noticed. It can get that weird. We had a guy who sent his wife in to work for him for like 3 days.
Really?
And I'm gonna be honest with you, she was a better worker than he was.
Wow.
Because finally I'm like,
stuck a midget on base.
Yeah, but I was like, wait, weren't you a dude like a week ago? And she's like, no. I'm like, yeah, you were. Come with me. And her husband was staying home and getting drunk and high.
Oh,
and
shit.
I'm like, you know what? I was like, can't we just keep her? No, because she hasn't been through AIT and basic training. I'm like, I'm telling you, she at least she can do a right face without falling. And he's like, no, it's illegal to draft civilians. I'm like, fine, I guess he can come back to work. And Denny was a retard and killed himself.
Oh shit!
I'm not missing him.
How did he kill himself?
Okay, so propellant charges are what you put in artillery. So many bags for depending on the distance you want to go. Now,
All
once they
right.
hit a certain age, you've got to inspect them, because what can happen is the prop charge can crystallize, and that
Mhm.
shit is nasty. So, we got told by Ordnance Command, hey, this lot has shown evidence of slight crystallization. Check this lot number, and I checked the sheets, and I'm like, oh fuck, I've got like 8,000 of them. So I'm like, okay, we'll do a spot check. I'm like, yeah, guys, go down there, be careful, it's crystallized. I'm gonna pull some out, and I'll come down there and check it, because you got to know what you're doing. You can't just slam on there. I'm like, remember, this stuff might be crystallized. Yeah. I'm sitting up range. I hear, boom. I'm like, motherfucker. And my first thought was, man, there better not be somebody fucking dead, because that's a lot of paperwork, and I hate all of you so much. So get in the truck, drive down there, and sure as fuck, he's deader than shit.
Oh jeez.
And I'm like, what the fuck happened? And they're like, well, you were taking your time to come down here and inspect. I was like, yeah, I gotta do the paperwork, and then I gotta suit up, and then I gotta get the tools. Well, you were taking a long time. I said, do you know why I wear the suit? No. I was like, and I pointed at the dead guy. I'm like, so that doesn't happen. What the hell happened?
Mhm.
What he did was he opened it up with a knife. That was his first. He stabs the knife into it and rips it down. On one of them, boom, he said, oh yeah, he was getting it in there, and he kept getting the sparks off the knife, but we weren't that worried because it would just land on the cloth. I'm like, fucking retards. He blew himself up because we figure, they came out and inspected, and they were, because every time somebody dies, they go over it with a fine tooth comb on how to prevent it. I'm sitting in the CO's office, and he's reading through the final report. He goes, well, CID has concluded their investigation. I'm like, so how many years am I doing? And he goes, oh, you're not doing any. I'm like, what? He goes, yeah, CID concluded that he killed himself because he's a dumbass. They said they're marking it down as death by misadventure, so his wife will get the insurance money. I'm like, oh, God, I hated him so much. And the guy's like, my CEO's like, does it bother you that he's dead? I'm like, no. I hated that guy. But yeah, I mean, he's stabbing his knife into it and then scraping it. And it's like, ugh, that's how you kill yourself. That's just dumb.
Yeah,
That's just
sometimes
dumb.
nature finds a way.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. All of you know that dynamite sweats, right?
Yeah.
And it sweats. What does it sweat?
Nitroglycerin.
And nitroglycerin is like really stable, and you can do anything you want to it, right?
Yeah.
What you can do is you can pick up a wooden box manufactured in 1948, and you can walk it outside and throw it on the ground, right?
Oh God.
That's what he did?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Have you ever heard the term squeegee somebody up? That's a real thing. But yeah, he's all like, oh, you guys are cowards. This stuff's not going to go off. Ordnance Command's just being a sissy about it. And he throws it on the ground, and it's. I was like, I think he's okay. And the lieutenant looks at me and goes, oh, I'm sure he's fine. I'm like, yeah, well, at least I'm not in charge. She's like, doesn't this bother you? I'm like, no, doesn't even bother me.
So when you have to go out there, what is the suit you wear exactly?
Have you ever seen the big EOD suits? The big
like the silver potato suits?
No. These are big OD. These were big OD.
Okay, I know what you're talking about.
Okay, we just pulled up a picture. Oh, holy fuck.
What are they called?
Huge armored
ODT
suits?
It looks like the spacesuit from Alien.
Yeah.
Kinda.
Yeah, it's heavy.
It looks like it is.
It's real heavy. And half the time I didn't wear the suit because I hit the point where I was like, you know what? If something goes wrong, it's not my problem anymore.
Wait, what are the name of the suits again? ODT?
OED.
Oh,
Or
ED.
EOD,
Okay.
sorry.
EOD, armored protective equipment.
Echo Oscar Delta.
I'm trying to find one that'll actually let me display it.
Holy
But
shit! They kind of look like Big Daddy.
Yeah,
Yeah, they do kind of look like Big Daddy.
you end up waddling in them, and oh my god, you end up.
Well,
But I was wearing the '80s one.
Yeah, the picture Ishii brought up, I don't think you had a tablet on your arm that you could.
No. Mine was the old version.
That guy does not look happy to be in that thing.
No,
Like, how
if it's
long
the
do I have
same
to
video
stand
I'm
this?
watching, no.
But they will save your life.
so what are they? Kevlar and
The ones I had were layered Kevlar and blast padding. But yeah, it
Damn.
was just
so is there anything in that to prevent the concussion from like collapsing your insides, or is
padding and steel
padding?
plating.
Oh, okay.
Padding, steel plating, and Kevlar.
It looks like Randy from A Christmas Story. I can't get up,
Yeah, it does.
Ralphie.
But if you had the real nasty one, you had the one. They had a version that was completely sealed against radiation and chemical weaponry, and that one you carried 120 pounds of tank on your back,
Oh shit.
which was like, oh, see, I can put that on, or I could go out and die. That's tough. That's real tough.
One of
I'm
the versions
lazy.
of the suit looks like the Sardaukar from David Lynch's Dune. It's actually pretty wild.
That's the more modern version, but yeah, and you need to check this because prop charge and nitroglycerin are so unstable, it's not even funny.
Mhm.
You know how every 3 or 4 years, 5 years, you hear how there was like some Marines or some Army guys that got killed practicing with artillery. And if you read the article, every time it's the exact same thing that kills them: crystallized prop charge.
Mm.
Because it's more explosive than the normal charge. So they throw a couple bags in there for the range, and they slam the breech shut and they pull the lever and it explodes. And that's why cutting inspections was such a huge deal that everybody was like, no, we don't need to do that. Oh, you don't need to inspect it every year. You can inspect it every 4 years. It's like, no, you can't, because it takes 6 months for that stuff to go bad once it starts. Oh, and if it gets exposed, if it gets wet, if the prop charge bags get wet and then dry, they're even worse. Then,
Really?
then they will explode if you look at them.
Oh, jeez.
But yeah, that's probably why we were all so crazy, is we handled that shit on a daily basis.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking, you wouldn't even know you were dead.
Oh, Jesus.
Well, I mean, some of the stories I read about people who served in the military during combat, I totally get why this air of insanity just kind of permeates.
Yeah.
I remember reading this memoir by, I don't know, he turned into a bit of a peacenik, so I take it for what you will. But he was trying to rationalize why it was that he had walked into a bombed out village with his platoon and it had just been napalmed and the whole place had just been burnt to shit. And they find a little stool and they prop it up and they find this like withered old corpse of a skeleton. And they sit him down and they're all taking pictures and talking to it and having lunch with it.
Yeah.
And sharing family photos saying, hey, these are my family back home. And the skeletons, just, it's a skeleton.
It's a skeleton. It can't answer you, dude. Yeah, we were never that bad, but we got really, really weird. I got busted one time and they made me do the breathalyzer and I blew a 0.294. And the MP was like, how were you able to walk? I'm like, I'm not quite drunk enough yet. And he's like, how drunk are you trying to get? I'm like, face
Enough?
down. He was pretty cool. He was, once he heard the reason, he was like, you know what, I'll give you a ride back to your barracks and take you up to your room. And that way I know you're not laying out in the street being run over by a car. I'm like, can I bring my whiskey bottle? He's like, you know what, man, knock yourself out. You can even ride in the front seat.
Wow.
Okay, so Undead Ramen has a comment that then I'm not sure what she's referring to.
You can't do Can I Keep Her on humans. Ralt, what the fuck? We've talked about this shit.
Okay, I'm confused.
That's my online wife. She's telling me, no, we can't keep her.
Oh,
You can't
Explain
keep human
online wife
beings.
for me.
Okay,
You've said that many times.
Okay, so I'm into video games. They're stress relief for me,
mm-hmm.
and my wife likes the slow kind of games like The Sims, and I like to get online and run around in like MMOs, sandbox games, stuff like that. Shooters like Payday 2, and Undead Ramen. She likes the same kind. She likes those games, and she's really good at teamwork and everything. And she came in. She asked if she could join. Back when I was streaming Payday 2 just for shits and giggles because it's fun to do. Because I always talk mad smack to the game and to everybody in the channel. And she was like, "Hey, can I join your guys' team?" And you're like, "Sure, why not?" And me and her ended up striking up a friendship, and that was like over 10 years ago. That was like right after Payday 2 came out. And so she's my online wife because when I'm playing video games that my wife doesn't, because my wife likes single player games. She likes relaxing games. She doesn't. If she plays a computer game, she doesn't want stress. She doesn't want action. She doesn't want explosions. She wants nice little, the time games. Dead likes to follow me as we run down the street in Left 4 Dead 2, throwing Molotov cocktails everywhere because that's the fun thing. So she's my online wife because she's pretty much the only female I really hang out with in like groups and everything. She's the main person I'll team with. If I'm firing up a game, I'll be like, or if she wants to fire up a game, she'll be like, "Hey, you want to play this? You want to play that?" And we'll sit and talk and everything. But I've known her for 10 years. So she basically does the stuff online that my wife doesn't want to do. And my wife has to put up with me in real life, and she doesn't.
You guys, look at her latest response. It's great.
What?
It says, "I just want to follow this man and shoot things forever." I love it.
That's pretty much what we do. I mean, because I'm one of those people that's, when we play one of those games, I'm front toward enemy. I don't want to do tactics. I don't want to do the crawl through the bushes and find the perfect sniper position. No, I want to throw grenades at them and run face first. Because it's a video game. I don't want to replay my army days. That's not fun to me. She's back there going with the dogs.
Says that your wife sounds like she's scolding the dogs.
Yeah, the big dog's eating out of the little dish and the little dog's eating out of the big dish.
Of course.
No matter how much she tries, she can't get them to eat out of the right dishes. But yeah, she's my online wife. We do things online all the time. It'll be like, "Hey, there's a new game coming out. We want to save up our monthly game to be this." Because like I got Dark Tide pre-order beta, and I really am gonna try that out probably this week.
Okay, I'm getting Dark Tide 2 for Xbox and PC. I'm fucking excited. Did you guys know that it was written by Dan Abnett?
No.
Really?
Yeah, that's why I'm
now
super excited.
The only reason I
I'm
got
now
it,
interested.
Yeah.
the only reason I got it was because it's co-op.
Co-op is secondary for me, but since I'm such a huge Warhammer fanatic, and also I love Dan Abnett, that's what sold me on the game. But I play tanks, so I want to play the Ogren.
A real good friend of mine posted that it's like Vermintide and Left 4 Dead, which means me and her will be all over it. She thought we honestly thought we'd like, because they were advertising Elden Ring as co-op, and me and her got it, and it wasn't co-op. There's been a couple games Cyberpunk was supposed to have co-op, and they're like, "No, we're not going to." So we would get stuff just because we could go in there and play and act like complete assholes. We don't grief other people. We don't like griefing other people. We just like fucking with each other. Like, "Hey, what's over there?" And you throw a grenade next to them. I've done that to her.
Did you guys ever play Destiny or Destiny 2 together?
No.
Because that's a game where Titans have this basically the shoulder rush that you can do, and if you were playing with your friends and you played a Titan, if your friend wasn't paying attention and they were near a ledge, you could shoulder rush them and fucking throw them off the ledge and kill them. That shit's fun.
She's still salty over Elden Ring because it was so beautiful, and it just the stealth grenade. If you've ever played Payday 2, there's a bank mission, And if you can get anybody in the back rooms, then you got a big crowd in the front at the tellers. So you've got a choice. You can either hope that your intimidation is high enough, you can make everybody get on the ground and nobody runs forward or hits the alarm, or you can do like I used to do, which is just throw a grenade. And yeah, you get dinged for civilian deaths, but nobody presses the alarm, and now we're still in stealth. Literally, you're still in stealth.
Ralts, were you the type of person that when they played Fallout would reverse pickpocket and put their grenades in the mines in
Yes.
people's pockets? Yeah, shit's so much fun.
Sometimes I'd even, save and then I'd do it and I'd be in the middle of talking to them and they'd explode. Because,
Shit, maybe we should just do a gaming night.
Oh, God.
Oh, I'd be down. Oh,
fun.
my gosh.
You'd
We'd
have
have
to
to figure out how we would live stream it, but
If we all play on PC, we should be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, my husband just set up a PC for me, so I can move from being an inferior console player to a PC player.
Well,
I take it you're a PC player, Ralts?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
PC Master Race, baby.
My son and my husband throw that in my face all the time because I'm a console player. They're like, yeah, we're PC Master Race. Like,
console
you.
peasant.
Yeah, I am a console peasant.
I'll tell you why I'm a console peasant, and there is a very good reason why. I don't want video games where I work. So I try to keep those separate. But now that I'm working primarily on a laptop that has no net connection, that may change.
Yeah. See, for me, it's knowing it's there and I can play it once I'm done. I'm really good at delayed gratification. So it really helps. Of course, then I'm like, oh, I spent the entire day writing. Oh, well. One of the things there is a game. Let's see. There's too many. Let's see. I think there's too many of us to do. Oh, God, I can imagine trying to teach you guys Payday 2 or fucking Left 4 Dead 2. That would be hilarious. Because, yeah, I spend the whole time shooting zombies. And it doesn't matter how good your video card is, as long as you bought it in the last 10 years, it'll work for Left 4 Dead 2. Let's see. Other than that, there's City of Heroes still, which is always a good one. I don't know. We'd have to get together and decide because it's not like there's a chance I wouldn't have it. I only have. Let me check my Steam account. How many games do I have? I don't have very many, guys. I swear. I only have 447.
Wow.
Yeah,
just a few games. Not very many.
So I would have to probably wait till after Christmas because like Dark Tide is coming out for free on Xbox because it's now part of Game Pass. But I'd have to wait for the Steam sales to happen at the end of the holidays.
Oh, Steam sales are great.
Oh, I know, right? Because I want to get Dead by Daylight because I want to play Pinhead.
Dead by Daylight is okay. I've got it. It just makes me sick to my stomach. Something about the way they did it. Yeah. I've got a big ultra wide monitor. Although I might be sending this video card back because ever since I put it in, I'll be playing the game for like half an hour and then my video card crashes. Yeah, but I also dropped in a new CPU, so
we should probably call it a night. It's going on 11, and Cat's got to wake up tomorrow.
Oh no, I hate that when I wake up.
I gotta get up at 6:30 to get Chris ready for school.
Oh geez, you gotta get up before me.
Well, it's okay though because after I come home, I can take a quick nap and then do the rest of my day.
All right, listeners, for those of you who want to get in on any of these t-shirts on the screen, but especially the Vomit Cannon shirt, link is in the description. And as you can see, you have got less than 2 hours to cash in on the Black Friday sale, which currently most of the shirts are $13.
Mm-hmm.
And usually they're anywhere between 20 to 25. So seriously, I would recommend it. Also, you should buy our books.
Yeah.
Yes, Ralts, where can people find your books?
Amazon under Behold Humanity.
And everyone can find my books under J.Ishiro Finney. And trust me, it's an easy name to find, even on Amazon. So let's call this a night.
Mm-hmm.
Come a night.
I just want to shake some sense into you kids.
Everybody.
All right. This was a great Monday.
Wait, are we still going? It
Yeah,
didn't say
let's-
broadcast ends.
Oh,
Yeah, it's still going.